7. Keith, are you so ill that we can't look at you?
I love it.
Poor
It's a
guy.
good gag. And everybody's got COVID. It is bananas.
It's so weird that I feel like I feel bad for never having gotten it at this point.
I kind of wanted. I didn't know if Keith wanted to address whether he had it, but I was like, biggest upset of the year is Keith getting Chuck COVID before Chuck. Hibachi Chuck, stay undefeated.
Hey, I was distanced. I asked to be put in a corner.
You're fine.
What we know now about transmission.
You really want to have lived the way I've lived through this garbage? I don't think so.
Look, I'm not proud of the hibachi incident, but it helped me get through that day. And really, it was a day-by-day venture for a long time.
Day by day.
Day by day.
Trying to get the games up. Well, there we go. God damn, my setup is slick.
It would just be unnecessary.
Keith,
you look great.
I've got a new syndrome where I try to keep up with my bosses, and my bosses are millionaires.
No.
And I have to stop doing this. But they send me links to deals. They're like, look at this is the TV I have that you love. Check it out. It's only $3,000. And I'm like, fuck. Here we go.
I don't even try to keep up with my friends who are DJs.
Oh, you shouldn't.
No.
That's credit card. That's credit card debt.
I just want to say that I left a birthday party for a 1-year-old to come.
You're welcome.
But she has a basketball, like a baby basketball book called B is for Baller, where it goes to the ABCs, but with basketball players.
Oh, yeah.
Have any of you have that?
Yeah.
Is Jordan on the cover?
Yeah.
Good God, Hawks game.
Have you seen did you look through the whole thing? Did you see the W page? The W is for the worm.
Yes.
And it's terrifying.
A child covered in worms.
Yeah. It's really scary. Yeah. That was a Kickstarter. Like I remember pledging to that Kickstarter. I don't know if they ended up publishing it wider after that.
I'm going to apologize for that.
That's awesome.
For showing a child Dennis Rodman covered in worms.
That's a great story. That's
worms.
Thanks for reminding me. Also, that book is severely white leaning. There's so many white players and not.
I missed an important part of the conversation, and now I'm fucked.
I'm
fucked.
All right. Y'all ready?
No, do it.
I think so. Let me pull up my notes here. Whoa. Yeah, I'm ready.
Jalen
Check
Green,
these traps out, though.
Game log basketball.
Dude.
Touch my ears almost.
I think I can fake cramps with fat ones.
I think I just got a cramp. Oh.
Hold on. Just a second.
Oh, that hurt. Oh, it still hurts.
I look something up. Oh,
that's what I'll do. I'll apologize for showing a child the worm. Mention that the book is heavily white leaning, and then
getting called out for not wearing Grizz stuff.
And then I'm going to segue into that Guardian article about the Mavericks being consistently white. It'll give us
approaching Chuck head girth.
3
I guess
years.
Just means that my head's getting fat.
No, you've got more hair than me. That adds
but I've always
at least
had more
a quarter
hair.
inch. Yeah, but it's weird. Hats are strange, fickle beasts. Sometimes you'll get it and you're like, oh, this will fit on 2 snaps. And then sometimes you're barely getting the 1 snap.
I'll never forget that time I saw you have 1 snap.
I got 2 on this one.
I'll never forget that.
mm-hmm.
And see, you're on 2 because you've lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe. And this one's kind of loose. Yeah.
Is this Hat Bill? Brent?
Can your skull lose weight?
My dad seems to.
Let's
Can
go.
your skull lose? All right.
This is material.
I'm recording it. I mean,
Dude, what is this? Why is it? I notice people leave these on.
What are we talking about?
Why do they do that? The hologram?
Oh yeah,
Chuck?
you leave the sticker on. Yeah.
Why?
That hat is incredible.
Why do they leave the sticker on? I'm about to take the sticker off.
I haven't done that since like
I got my
2002.
sticker here. I got my
Taking
sticker here.
sticker off.
I mean, I'm supposed to leave them on.
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
mean,
I think you're right, Keith, but
it is a.
I don't want to be right.
It is a thing that
when people say mid, is this what they're referring to?
that's a mid hat.
This is
yeah.
mid.
So
The
mids?
sticker's mid.
So
Mids.
Chuck, does mid come from the weed stuff?
Weed,
From our
yeah.
childhood? It does?
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Oh, Canada just scored.
In what?
We got a lot of sports going on, boys.
Don't ever. Yeah.
Hawks, Lakers tied with 90 seconds left.
I can't watch Hawks. Surprise. I guess I could put my cable on here. I'm watching the
All right, let's go.
Clippers whoop the Hornets.
All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA Podcast. My name is Keith. Here, once again, with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Chuck Anderson.
Hey now.
Ooh, Fat Boys rendition. I like it.
And with John Burr.
Imagine I'm taking a straw in and out of a fast food cup as fast as I can. The greatest musical instrument of all.
Is this in honor of John Morant doing the Cabbage Patch
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
after a play against the Washington
Chuck, do the
Wizards on
Cabbage
Tuesday
Patch, and
night?
I'll do the Steven Adams face.
Oh, well played. Great
So good.
reenactment, guys. I didn't know. Is it okay to do the Cabbage Patch? I'm not saying just in general. I'm saying in the second quarter of a game. It felt
when you
early
do that
to bust out a dance move on the court. It was the
Well,
second quarter.
here's my problem. See, and I didn't see the Grizz game last night because I was getting my heart broken by the Miami Heat. But
Yeah, by basketball, not
by
your,
basketball.
your girlfriend didn't dump
Yeah.
you again, did you?
No, I didn't get dumped again.
That's good.
But was that Bane block Ja alley-oop after that Cabbage Patch?
That's a great
Yes,
question.
yes,
It
yes.
was.
It was. See, so here's my problem. You should have saved the Cabbage Patch.
How you can't
'Cause
save it when you're the
I
Memphis
mean,
Grizzlies.
I'm pretty sure
and
they
you
turned
make-
away, but I'm pretty sure we had like a Bukkake incident after the dunk. block.
When you have a top 10 Sports Center highlight play basically every 3 or 4 possessions,
Yeah.
basically every game, I guess you don't save your celebrations.
So
I guess.
then what we have to do, and I know Ja's doing a lot, and he's, probably the most exciting player in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to work a little more of like having a repertoire of celebration dances. Like
well, how do you think this is the first time he pulled this out? I feel like
that's
you're
what I'm
criticizing
saying.
him.
But now we can't. Once you do it, you can't go backwards.
He does a lot of different celebrations.
I want to see maybe like the Charleston. Maybe
Yeah.
he could do like
Made
some-
out Carolina.
This is the
One
stuff, by the way.
dance,
This is the
no
stuff that
dance
LeBron
has
James
ever
was
been
getting mad at the
finer.
Grizzlies for. You guys are
Yeah.
having too much fun.
How
LeBron
much?
was like, you guys are having too much fun. This is not okay. You're
Oh,
not
man.
supposed to celebrate after a layup in the second quarter. It's not okay. And the
As
Grizzlies
an-
are just dancing on people.
As an outsider, how many groin thrusts do the Grizzlies team collectively have left in them before everyone hates us?
That's a great question. What do you think, Chuck?
I know, but here's the thing. I'm biased. I know the Grizzlies aren't my A1 team, but I love them. And it's tragic that, so this is where my brain goes. I see I've seen this story before where the league falls in love with the guy.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, everybody hates him.
So this
And
is
if
what
it
it
ever
is.
happens with the Grizzlies, I'm marching to New York City and I'm burning down the league office.
Oh no.
Because this isn't like
He's
this
just
is the
joking.
most-
this is comedy.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
It's a
playing
comedy
character.
What's
podcast.
today's date? January.
But like if they do what they did to Westbrook, or if they do what they did to every great star gets pooped on eventually.
I think
I'm not gonna be able to
everyone
handle it.
knows there's an ascension where everyone
Uh-huh.
is excited about the ride up, and then eventually it turns, and then
Right.
you become.
And then there's
The villain.
the tyranny of expectation.
And
right?
especially
Like,
right now, you have this thing where everyone's like, oh, Ja is the most fun superstar. And they're saying, oh, these young Grizzlies are the most fun, entertaining league pass team. And eventually people start to realize, wait a minute, this team is a contender.
Oh, here we
and
go.
then they're like,
going,
wait a minute,
Keith.
I don't like this. I'll tell you where people are going to turn on. People are going to turn on him when Kevin Durant joins them next year. That's where
I was about to say this.
It's just like the Warriors.
I loved the Warriors. Like when the Warriors were just raining threes and high-fiving and jumping into each other after every single play. Like I was still all aboard because it was awesome. The moment it got not awesome was when a superstar comes and joins.
Well, so we're going to get a superstar eventually, maybe, possibly. Why wouldn't, if you were a superstar, why wouldn't you join this team? Why wouldn't Bradley Beal, who's not a superstar?
No, come on.
The price on Bradley Beal
got melted.
Can you imagine? Like last year, and I don't feel like I was wrong, but last year, I and many other people were like, I would trade a lot of stuff for Bradley Beal because that's a perfect fit next to Ja. And I was like, I'll give him lots of draft picks. Now the Wizards are destitute. Put a stake in them.
I wouldn't give up KZ Okpala and a 2045 second round pick for Brad Beal right now.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, Brad Beal can be a free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe that contract's going to be a little bit ugly. But he's still pretty young. Why wouldn't he come join Beal Street in Memphis? Just scratch out the E on a couple of shirts.
Branding.
Look, I can't even handle the thought of Dylan Brooks coming back and messing with this chemistry. I don't know what I'd do with Brad Beal. But I don't know what I'd do if Brad Beal came to town and started demanding Ja's shots. I don't think I can handle it. Speaking
of, you live long enough to turn the villain, or you live long enough where you have to stare into the future and see a future that doesn't involve you. Where time comes for all of us. The Grizzlies fans had that moment in the game on Friday when franchise icon Mike Conley was in the building. Mike Conley had a breakaway layup, and Mike Conley, all right, he had a positive plus minus for the game. Mike Conley's teammates, Eric Paschall, let down Mike Conley. Mike Conley was good, but Mike Conley had a fast break where Ja was behind him, and Mike tried to slow down, so Ja wouldn't block a shot against the backboard. And then he made an awkward pump fake, and Ja pretended like he was jumping. It's like, no, I'm not gonna jump. And then he
toyed with him.
Then Mike Conley missed the layup, and I was like, oh my gosh, that might have cost Mike Conley his jersey retirement.
Yes,
I can't unsee that. I feel a lot of strong.
It's already gotten to the point where if you ask somebody who's the greatest point guard in Grizz history, John Morant, and then they're like, who else played point?
Did Mike Bibby play?
Yeah,
probably Mike Bibby, maybe Calathis.
Are you going to put him over Jason Williams?
Come on.
It is funny. I feel like most basketball people, and we were on it. I mean, it's not even bragging to say you were on it early with Ja, because it was so obvious. He played a month. He played a month in the NBA.
We moved him past.
No, this is the best.
Conley is the best.
Yeah.
Grizz point guard, I think.
And again, sometimes people need to hear this. I own more Mike Conley shirts than anyone listening. Probably. I own a lot of Mike Conley shirts. When I first bought a Grizzlies shirt, I used to not have a lot of disposable income. Used to be real poor. And I wouldn't pay $25 for a t-shirt. It just wasn't in my thing I could do. And then I was like, you know what? I have to buy a Grizzlies shirt because I like these Grizzlies players. This is core 4 era. I like these Grizzlies players so much. And it was before Mike Conley signed, before Mike Conley got good.
Right.
But my thinking was this guy's definitely going to be around the longest because no one's trading for him. And we're going to have him. So this shirt is going to be valid for, I'm saying, probably at least 5 years. I comfortably, no one is going to get this guy. He's going to be on the Grizzlies. So I bought my first Grizzlies shirt. Where I feel like I spent, I went to the team store, it was $29. And I was like, all right, I'm buying this. And it was Mike Conley shirt. So I love Mike Conley. But then again, you saw 3 weeks of John Morant. You saw him in a preseason game, his rookie year against the Hornets, do 5 things I hadn't seen a Grizzlies point guard do. And it was like, oh, this guy's way better than Mike Conley. Why are people upset when that is said out loud?
I know we're probably not going to get into all-star game stuff too much, but I think funny. I think it is funny that so Mike Conley finally gets all-star bid, for being, and he was always regarded as the best guy to never make an all-star team. And now it appears Mike Conley will never sniff an all-star game ever again.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
I didn't know it happened this swiftly. I thought maybe he'd be in the conversation for a few years now, and he is just gone. It's over.
No, but like Mike Conley is having a great season.
Yeah, but he's not even in the conversation. Like
he's not in the conversation. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's because last year was an honorary
it's like
career award.
It truly was like the Irving G. Thalberg Award at the Oscars.
Yes, yeah. You're right, John. People were mad at me. Grizzlies fans were mad at me last year when I said John Morant is getting snubbed for Mike Conley. John Morant is a more deserving all-star this season. I don't understand why you would give, like, we know the Jazz had an incredible regular season record last season. Like, all right, let's give a third all-star nomination to this team for Mike Conley as a career award. And I was like, this is stealing an all-star spot from not John Morant, but also like Jamal Murray too. I thought was worthy of one. Even DeMar DeRozan on the Spurs last year.
Jordan Clarkson on his own team, probably.
It's a lot like Nas winning a Grammy recently.
Did Grammy still happen?
Yeah, he just won a Grammy. Best record. It wasn't good. It wasn't his best record. It was probably his 10th best album.
Did you guys
like Scorsese winning the best director for The Departed?
You guys see the thing where like your brain has trouble, like basically can't fully appreciate music since the age of like 16. Like 16 is the year where your brain is most blown away by music. And
here's the thing.
It'll never go back to that.
You'll
never hear anything again that you're like as good as what you heard.
So I haven't really grown up since the age of 16. So
same.
My listening to music is always kind of incredible. I love it. It makes me
that's great.
When I hear
that's
a new
awesome.
record and when I hear a new rap artist, like I listened to Maxo Cream for like 17 days in a row last year when his album came out.
When I hear when I hear any new song, my reaction is, that's a song. like just like nothing. Like that's a collection of notes and beats and lyrics.
Unless it's Savages from the Pocahontas concert.
So here's the thing.
And then you're like, well, the structure, the melody.
I was thinking a lot about this, about the Stockholm syndrome of being a parent, where it's like my favorite, like the favorite 10 songs I've heard in the last 2 years are all Disney songs. And it's like, it's just pure Stockholm syndrome. There's still things where I'm like, this is cloying and saccharine and manipulative and gross. And there's still some of that I hear.
But it goes.
But then the fifth time I hear it, I start kind of tearing up a little bit. And it's just like, that's
your
just parenthood,
parenting style is kind of like Heidi Fleiss. Chuck, what is your parenting style?
My parenting style?
Yeah.
I would call it a boomerang style. I wouldn't put it into, I just come around and then
I've got like a lone wolf and cub thing going on where like I put the baby in constant danger and then I weaponize the baby a lot.
Yeah.
And there will probably be like a tearful moment of tenderness right before I die. I think that's where we're headed.
I'm just trying to like stick around long enough to where when they're adults and are actually cool, I can kind of have a relationship worth building on from there. Because I mean, they're kids. What are we gonna do? Watch Marvel movies?
Play with them, Chuck.
Seems like that's what you're
kids are kind of amazing. Well, here's my parenting style. My parenting style is get the disease they got from school and own it with my body. This is health and safety protocol. Fast break breakfast.
I didn't know if we were doing this.
I have COVID. My wife has COVID. My children all have COVID. We're all doing basically fine. My kids love coronavirus. It was the best thing that ever happened to them.
Really quickly, I just want to talk about the biggest upset this year won't be if someone usurps Jokic or Embiid for MVP. It's that Hibachi Chuck did not get COVID while Keith
it's unbelievable.
Sitting at home.
It's unbelievable.
For 2 years
blown away.
COVID.
I'm blown away.
Yeah. So after all this time of avoiding everything, following all the rules, spacing, and also my wife taking care of elderly COVID patients. Yeah, it's just our kids. They were forced to go to school.
They always do it.
And you can't not get COVID. It's amazing because
truancy or die.
We flirted with truancy. We were keeping our kids out some days. Like we haven't sent the 4-year-old to daycare since last year, since December. And our son's teacher, my son is 7 in first grade, and my son's teacher left school ill, which we can't find out if she had COVID. I guess that's her business. I think this is a proper usage of the term HIPAA.
King Hippo violation.
Yeah, King Hippo violation. And anyway, my son's like, yeah, the teacher went home sick. And I'm like, oh, well, we're not going back to school for a while because I'm not first grade sub. No, I'm good.
Right.
And but then it turns out that no, he already had it because he got it probably whenever she got it. Maybe from her, probably from a kid. But anyway, the kid, I'm like, you can't go to school, because you're positive for the virus. You have to sit upstairs and in this room by yourself and watch TV. Woo! And he's like, what? He's like, how much can I watch? And I'm like, you can watch it all. He comes downstairs. He's like, can I watch Star
you
Wars?
Unscramble the Skinamax.
I'm like, yeah, you can watch Star Wars. And he doesn't like, he didn't do anything. And then, he was asymptomatic. The 4-year-old had a runny nose. My wife and I have like normal flu-y things, but not terrible.
Keith, you got to play up whatever symptoms you have so that you'll be left to your own devices.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I live my life to my own devices. I don't even need it. Honestly, I've hit this point of whatever. I basically feel like I can do whatever I want as long as I get the podcasts recorded that line up in my life. But I am looking forward to the end of this tunnel. The light at the end of this tunnel is like, we're going to have like a solid 10 weeks of super abilities. Where like, we don't have to be super careful. Like, or we have to be worried. We have to be concerned. Like, we're going to mask up, we're going to be responsible, but like, I'm gonna go to Grizzlies games. Like, I'm going to send my kids back to school. Like my kids can go back to school. My 4-year-old can go back to daycare. So like, we're like a week away from actually hitting a very sweet spot. That is the upside of the illness that I have right now.
So like you can get it again, but I guess your immunities are better, right? Is that how it works?
Well, it's basically,
I also need to prepare
I think
this
I don't want to misspeak, and I'm not a doctor. Please double check everything.
You are a podcaster, though.
I am a podcaster.
Pretty much good enough.
I think you basically can't get it again for like 2 months. Like it's almost impossible. We're still gonna mask. We're not gonna spread any germs around. But we can be a little bit less anxious about picking up, because then when you've never broken the seal, when you haven't gotten it yet, it is a scary thing, and we're not like excited
First thing
about
I'm
it.
doing is I'm leveling the scales, and I'm going to a hibachi restaurant immediately.
That's what's up.
Like,
Speaking of hibachi,
I feel very wrong.
Speaking of hibachi, Chuck, have you had a breakfast? Is that the transition?
I had some vegan cinnamon rolls for breakfast. Shout out vegan cinnamon rolls.
Was that the hibachi transition you just gave us?
Well, I was going to just talk about food.
Oh,
eating. Yeah, because
we're like, we needed to get there. We're solid.
We're like 20 minutes in, and we've talked basketball and family and no breakfast. So
listen, when the Grizzlies are the best team in the NBA, we talk basketball first sometimes.
That's it. Had 2 cinnamon rolls and a protein shake. Shout out Muscle Milk.
Oh, are you done with the Robert Irvine bars?
Those are only gotten at gas stations. I might have to cop those because I did have another one this week. They are legit. I might have to cop them on Amazon. I had the peanut butter one. It was great.
Yeah. John, what was your breakfast?
So I have these, I think they're called kiwi muffins, Australian muffins.
Steven Adams make them? Hey now.
It's some kind of like Maori madness, like just these little doo-doo balls that are in our kitchen that if I get very desperate, like I was pretty much solo parenting all morning, which for me is like being set on fire. And at the end of it, I was just like, I have to podcast. I must eat. So I like stuck a banana up my nose and one of those things up my butt. And now I'm ready to run.
That sounds good. I had I went ahead when I woke up because I'm mildly symptomatic and I knew I needed some energy. I wanted to see where I was going to be. I'm worried that I will get worse throughout the day. So I'm like, you know what? I do need to start off by getting some calories in me, getting some energy in me. And I went with the faithful standby cinnamon toast crunch. Yeah. First thing upon rolling out of bed, started making coffee, but before I even had the coffee, I went straight to 2 bowls of cinnamon toast crunch. And right now I'm still flying high.
So Chuck, maybe you can tell me what it is that I'm doing to myself. So I have started drinking. My old lady got me these things. I drink them pretty much every morning. It is ginseng, carrot, turmeric kombucha. What's happening? What am I doing to myself?
She's giving you flavors you're not accustomed to, so she can slowly add arsenic each day.
Yeah,
You're being poisoned. Be careful.
Well, I mean, and they are. I think they were for her, but I just drink them all every day. Like, they're mine now.
How much? You should check out how much sugar's in them, because they can. Those kind of drinks tend to. They'll sneak in like.
I'm gonna say the bottle's about as long as my head.
Yeah, just see
and
how
I'm doing
much
about
sugar's
one.
in it.
I'm doing about one a day.
Yeah, just
it definitely has one of those price tags where it feels like I should not be doing this, but I'm doing it.
Well, all that stuff's good. Ginger and turmeric's great.
Right.
It's great for your immune system. But yeah,
what is kombucha? What's going on here?
Kombucha is like a fermented kind of drink, but it doesn't.
Am I violating my sobriety?
Yeah, so it can have it can't be fermented to the point where it has alcohol.
Am I wasted right now?
You're
I drank like balls. 6 sample servings or serving sizes.
Yeah. Kombucha can be. There is hard kombucha.
Oh, like hard Mountain Dew?
With the Baja.
Yeah,
like hard Baja Blast.
Yeah, but yeah, you might not be. I doubt Allie's trying to give you booze in the morning.
Speaking of the hard Baja Blast, you guys know the Chuck. Have you tried it? Oh, you don't drink. I'm sorry.
I don't drink. You're sorry. No, it's fine.
When I think Mountain Dew, I think Chuck. But it's caffeine free Mountain Dew because you're still not allowed. You're allowed to purchase handguns wherever you want, but you're not allowed to mix caffeine and alcohol.
Is that the Four Loco amendment in the U.S. Constitution?
It's the Four Loco and Sparks amendment. And honestly, I'm for it. I don't know. I'm in my 40s. The early 2000s, I don't know if people are younger listening. The early 2000s, there were roving bands of just packs of youths, packs of people in their early 20s drinking caffeinated alcohol like locusts, just destroying houses. Like I'm not even joking. It was the MySpace era.
Chuck was one.
Maybe this was just in Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm talking packs of college-age kids drinking Sparks and just like walking down the street looking for a party, and they'd go inside and just destroy a house. And it was Mad Max out there. So that's why.
I remember one of the craziest days of my life was my weird little school that I went to. Surge came to the school.
Yeah.
And was just like throwing surges at everyone.
Surge is not even alcoholic.
Like 18-ounce surges, like surge guns spraying it into like kids' faces. And I'm not kidding. This was a boarding school. So like we all hoarded all the surge that they gave us and stuck it in every crevice we could find. God,
and there's just and then there was a crime wave, right?
Basically coked out of our mind for an entire semester on Surge.
And it was all because of the marketing plan Surge had. It made you think that you could lift a car if you had a sip of it. Yeah. And we were very impressionable children.
They're not wrong. Like
it's not far off, man.
It really was
it's not far off.
It was exactly. You remember how Jolt Cola was kind of mythologized? Like,
yeah.
Surge was, 2/3 of a Jolt Cola. Like you felt it in your plums, it was like insane.
Yeah, those were the good days. Those were our breakfasts. After our breakfasts, we move to our breakfast in bed. Apologies. This is our chance to make right what we got wrong on a previous episode. It's frequently the first time we talk about the NBA, though we've already discussed the NBA a little bit. But anyway, do you guys have anything that you need or want to apologize for?
So I actually got probably the most feedback I've ever gotten. This probably has to do with my Twitter feed consisting almost entirely of wrestling gifs. But we apparently kind of whiffed on last week's naming of the Intercontinental NBA champion. And we missed on both sides of the coin. Dave Duffer reached out and pointed out, like, if we're going with a good guy, a babyface, it's obviously Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is the guy who's never going to win it, who's just right there, one of the most, someone you're always going to remember for his big shots and being in the mix, but probably never going to get a title unless he Durant's it. And then for the bad guy, like Keith, we both should probably apologize. How did we miss Trae Young? The man who's embraced villainy to a level that we haven't seen in the NBA in ages. And he even reminded us with his Charles Barkley tweet put down this week. And if just week in, week out, just a so villainous as to become, a fan favorite in some regards.
And I think maybe
we really messed that up.
Maybe my fandom wouldn't allow me to admit that he's never going to be an actual champion, but Jimmy Butler plays the heel tremendously well. He flips off his teammates. He's walked out of practices, yelling at his team, that the third team, he beat the starters with the third team.
We kind of whiffed on this one.
Yeah, we didn't do too well. We had to check our biases, and I think we just don't. We didn't see the whole.
Didn't even mention Blake Griffin. I mean,
oh man,
is Blake Griffin alive?
That's
like
a villain.
I
think he's starting for the Nets, but
I know
Aldridge.
Remember when everyone in the Eastern Conference was afraid of Blake Griffin playing with the Nets for like a month and a half? Now I don't know what happened.
Well, no, we weren't afraid until he came out and he played well.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, oh, who cares?
Sandbag the Pistons,
and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, he can dunk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was
like.
Yeah. I remember having a sense of fear that the Nets stole a version of Blake Griffin that was going to turn the Nets into some sort of juggernaut. But thankfully, Kyrie Irving has ruined that locker room to the extent that all that depth they had, where I was like, oh my God, Bruce Brown. Oh my God, Joe Harris. It's like, Patty Mills. I was literally like, Patty Mills shook me to my bones. And now I'm like, I don't care about the Nets.
Yeah. Speaking of things we omitted from last week's show, during the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, I left out someone who probably should have won the award flat out. Jon had this inkling, a disturbance in the force.
I just remembered being like a historic one.
You said, redo it. You said, wasn't there an 0 for an 11 this week?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't see one. I mean, so you guys, like, I tally these bad shooting performances manually. I go to StatHead, I put on my filters, and then I'm just looking at the bad shooting performances. This is not automated like that sports ball bot has automated many of our negative fantasy scores in our negative fantasy league. So I did miss the fact that Jalen Green of the Rockets had an 0 for 11 game. I'm pretty sure he would have won. I think we
just go back and give it to him, right?
Retroactively award
Chuck,
him.
do you have your gavel? Do you have a gavel?
Well, Chuck is for it because
seconded.
We're taking Jimmy Butler's award away because Jimmy Butler won last week.
0 for 11.
Yeah. So Jalen
don't
Green.
Worry. We'll get it. Tyler will get it back.
Jalen Green went 0 for 11, and it actually was part of a 3-game span where Jalen Green made 6 of 40 field goal attempts.
All right.
That's 15%. By the way, I have to thank the listener who discovered our error.
It's got to be David, Rockets
Brad
fan.
Perry.
Okay.
A guy named Brad Perry reached out. He's a Cade Cunningham fan. Cade Cunningham's been lighting it up recently. Pistons fans feeling pretty good about not having Jalen Green. Not feeling as good about not having Evan Mobley, but they're defensive, and they still would definitely take Cade over Evan. But anyway.
Oh, come on. Green, can you even take Cade over Scotty Barnes? Let's dial it down a notch, Brad Perry.
Jalen Green is the first player in the NBA to have a 3-game span where he attempted at least 40 field goal attempts and made 15% or fewer since Captain Jack. Steven Jackson in 2008. The list of players all time to have a 3-game span with at least 40 field goal attempts and only making 15% or fewer. Steven Jackson, a couple years before that, was Quentin Richardson. And then we're down it back to the 50s. Joe Grabowski, Connie Simmons, and then in 1947, Angelo Musi.
Fake names.
Wow.
Angela Musi, who you remember played 3 years and won a basketball association title with the Philadelphia Warriors. His career
with the Fishes now, I think.
His career field goal percentage was 29%. By the way, Jalen Green's following game after this 3-game stretch was also bad. He is now he now has 51 field goal attempts in his last 4 games. He's made 10 of them. The players to shoot under 20% in a 4-game span with at least 50 field goals. We got Brandon Jennings in 2014, and then this Quentin Richardson run in 2004 was apparently quite terrible. But anyway,
I'd like to thank you for not making that into a game of scones.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom of my heart.
I would never. Well, I might, but I would say, yeah. It's probably best if I did not. Chuck, anything you need to make right in the world?
Yeah, so I had to leave a 1-year-old's birthday party to come podcast today.
You're welcome.
And, yeah. But while I was there was a children's book called B is for Baller. That was full of NBA NBA players. I don't know who wrote it. I wish I would have wrote that down.
I haven't. I
But
think
it's great. A is for Air Jordan, B is for Larry Bird, C is for I think James Harden, but I can't tell you.
I also have this book.
Yeah. But I was reading
it.
I was excited and I was reading it to this 1-year-old, and I got to W, and W is for worm. And then there was a picture of Dennis Rodman covered in worms. It was terrifying. And I'm
it's like
sorry
a still from Event Horizon.
This lady who had to be witness to this horrific photo. Also, I noticed the book leaned extremely white. There's Steve Nash was in there.
That's a two-time MVP, Chuck.
Just strong marketing.
Dirk Nowitzki,
John Paxson, and
let
Jim
me tell you, the last page of the book, it had future stars, and there were 3 future stars on it. It was Giannis, it was Anthony Davis, and Kristaps Porzingis. So let me tell you, kind of whitewash.
There was a time that's a time capsule, Chuck. It's a time capsule.
I was like,
people were very excited about Porzingis.
It was a snapshot. It was Porzingis with a unicorn horn.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
That's Triple J now.
Yeah. Was it A for AllStar and it only showed Wally Zerbiak?
Joe Fuchs.
Joe Fuchs, man.
Brad Miller.
Those were our apologies. Before we get to our steak and eggs best thing, I got a word from our sponsor, the Memphis Grizzlies.
I heard they're good.
They're so good.
If you're ever feeling weird about your team, just make sure you watch whenever they play the Wizards.
Hang on. Grizzlies fans, you can get game day deals when you sign up for Buzzer Beaters. Text Buzzer Beater to 833-550-0028 to opt in for discounts to your next Grizzlies home game today. Get tickets, go see the Grizzlies, get hyped, save with these Buzzer Beaters. Visit grizzlies.com/buzzerbeater for more information. All right, steak and eggs. Best thing. What's the best thing you saw in the last week? Chuck, what's your steak and eggs?
So I'm contractually obligated to say a best thing that is fast food related one time a season. I am allowed. And recently, McDonald's released the information that you will be able to order through their app the McAir Land and Sea, which is a monstrous amalgamation of all of the types of protein you can get at McDonald's: a fillet of fish, a chicken breast, as well as Big Mac patties.
What's the air one? Is the chicken the air
one? The chicken. And
they don't fly,
are they serving pigeon? What's the air?
Squab. It's squab.
Oh man.
It is something that I have made on my own. I've deconstructed sandwiches in the days that I liked a little jazz cabbage, and I would put them back together in such a way that these have occurred. I've had them before. They're tremendous. They will put your cholesterol immediately in dangerous ranges, and your blood pressure will spike instantaneously. But I'm so happy that this exists. But it got me thinking about what kind of, like, if we could take all of the worst qualities of superstar players and put them together to make one terrible superstar. I have some ideas.
Okay.
Okay.
If we took like turnover prone Russell Westbrook, which I know
he's curbed that a little bit.
He's curbed it.
Turned it down a little bit.
He's turned it down a little bit. but you add that with the emotional volatility of Luka Doncic, right? And then you take the
Is that feels racist? You're saying you just because of his ethnicity that Doncic is a little more prone to emotional outbursts?
I'm saying he's a petulant baby.
Okay,
and
fair.
Then your complete inability or lack of want to play basketball on the court, and you could choose either Kyrie or Ben Simmons. You could have the worst superstar that has ever played basketball.
It's pretty good. You could have the shooting range of Ben Simmons. I guess it's easy to do. The handle.
What's the name of this thing again? Air, Land, and Sea?
The McAir Land and Sea.
We got to find a way to, Chuck, you got to film yourself eating this.
Yeah, this will be on our YouTube page for 25 people to see, but I will definitely
get it on that gram. I think there's like 28, 29.
Yeah, I might be able to put it on live it on the gram. Yeah, that's what I should do. I should just do Instagram lives of me hurting myself.
How tall is it?
It's gotta be at least half a foot.
Oh, do they put like a toothpick, like a club?
I'm not even sure how you would I don't know how you would deliver it. Like if you ordered it to go, how would you you can't wrap it up. They would need special paper. The Big Mac box wouldn't be able to be tall enough to contain it. I'm just curious about a lot of the engineering aspects of it. We'll see.
We got to see this happen.
You got to make it happen.
I'm kind of speechless that this exists.
Yeah, I'm still having trouble wrapping my brain around it.
So have beef, I've had surf and turf before.
Yeah, this is McDonald's surf and turf.
But the element of chicken added in is just almost. Oh.
I mean, it is on the McDonald's website. If you Google the Air, Land, and Sea, which I think they should call it the McAir Land and Sea, but they don't on the website. It's 1,330 calories. And for a limited time only, starting January 31st tomorrow, this menu hack covers all bases and cravings. You can order it by name and make it yourself. But yeah, it is fully terrible for you. It has a regular bun, a Big Mac bun, filet of fish, beef patty, and McChicken patty. They don't even put the crispy chicken patty.
Can we get a calorie count on this bad boy?
1,330 calories.
Woo! That's like a whole bottle of kombucha right there.
John, what's your best thing?
So I guess this is probably COVID related, but have you guys noticed on League Pass that the in-between commercial stuff is getting pretty weird?
Define weird, but yes, I think so. There's been some strange things on League Pass.
Like if you catch a Miami Heat dance cam, it is not your normal Miami Heat folks going to the game. So you're getting I'm not going to call it the dregs of society, but you're getting some people at the game who are at the game trying to get on that dance cam.
Oh yeah, they're
that's not abnormal yet. What makes that abnormal?
You're not catching
an influencer.
Yeah, you're not catching your usual architects courtside. You're catching people behind there who usually don't have tickets to the game, just trying to get on that dance cam. And this is their time to shine.
We are seeing some people getting tossed out. Also,
the puking incident is probably my best thing of the year. But
also the Philadelphia fans are ejected for lifetime for yelling at Carmelo and being disrespectful.
For real?
Yes, there was somebody calling Carmelo boy over and over.
A white guy ejected, and
the
team investigated it and banned one of them for life and banned the other one for the season.
This is why we can't take racism out of our textbooks, folks.
Hey, is there
words have meaning?
I don't know if this happens in other teams, but the Heat do have a disturbing dancing phenomenon called the Golden Oldies.
Yeah.
So is this a thing on other?
No.
For other teams, yeah. So they have a geriatric dance team, and they turn up.
Yeah,
they turn up, and they're doing.
They turn down for what?
And they turn down their hearing aids. But yeah, it's sensual. It makes me change my Pornhub history search sometimes. And but shout out to Golden Oldies.
And then I saw the Hawks dancers. I've noticed this because I have to use League Pass to even watch the Hawks because of this. I have to use a VPN and League Pass to watch the Hawks, even though I live 4.5 hours from Atlanta. But check this out. all of their dancers, and I think because of COVID, have grown their hair out to like unbelievable lengths and have braided their hair into whips. And they do all these dances that just basically show how dangerous and long that their bizarre braids are. And as I'm watching, I was like, that woman has lash marks on her legs from being whipped by her fellow dancer. And I think things are just getting weird out there. And I think it's if you're not on League Pass, and I'm not trying to do promo here, but if you're not on League Pass, get on League Pass and stay there during.
Well, also they have they do a lot of skits and things now because they don't want people, I guess, out of the audience, and like so everyone's masked and like they film things at different spots. I personally love the jazz one where they golf. They do golf putting to try to win like $5,000, but it always cuts off before the final putt. Like you start very, very short and you go very further and further back.
I've watched entire miniature games of Ultimate Frisbee this year.
Oh man, I did see that.
I don't think that has
at
ever
the Trailblazers
happened.
game. No,
listen,
I've played Ultimate
Portlandia
Frisbee.
thing ever.
I've played Ultimate Frisbee at the halftime of an Arena Football League game. It was pretty tremendous.
It's getting weird, folks.
Also, there's the Pistons stuff where like the Pistons have already had the very dystopian Gore's Bucks cam where they give away gift certificates to the fans to use at the team store, but they're named after the owner, which I think is just, again, the strangest thing. It's the strangest. Please like me. I'm a for-profit prisoner. I run private prisons and charge prisoners like $8 to make a phone call. That's why I'm a billionaire. And he's like, but hey, here's script at the company store with my name on it. Go get yourself a t-shirt. It's so strange. And also they're dancers. And like, I am pretty prudish, as you guys know. Yeah. But like
the missionary,
the dancers at the Pistons games are wearing pants, sleeves, and masks with bikini tops. So it's just cleavage and stomachs. And it's like, that's just kind of weird. Like,
just switch to Hawks games and watch the Mortal Kombat character squad lash each other with their hair.
Yeah, it's all a bit strange. I'll do my best thing. I mean, beyond the Grizzlies being the third best team in the NBA and just being highlight reel nonstop. I guess I can move on to I think an uplifting, heartwarming story. You had Joel Embiid, who's been playing incredibly of late, have a little on-court mix-up with a rookie for the Pelicans, Jose Alvarado. This guy hasn't been in the league very long. Alvarado's been playing well. Man, the guy, like, he's a good defender, and like he's doing some stuff on the Pelicans. The Pelicans are just kind of, again, just creeping along. 500 for the past 2 months, just creeping along, doing their thing off the radar of everybody else. But anyway, Jose Alvarado's not made much money in his NBA career. Was basically, I believe he was a hardship signing this season. At the very least, he's on a minimum salary, and this is his first salary he's ever had in the NBA. Well, he got a technical foul where him and Embiid were kind of jawing with each other, and there was a double tech called. And Jose Alvarado's like, I don't really have the money to pay this $2,000 fine. That's a lot of my career earnings is a $2,000 fine. And Embiid found out about that and paid the fine for him. Embiid, very generous, very, very wealthy, and said, like, I liked playing this guy. I didn't have any bad, ill will towards him. We were competing. He was competing. So yes, I will go out of my way to pay his fine. So that's the kind of narrative color you add to an MVP campaign.
Yeah.
The on-court stuff is good. The massive statistics, the going however many games in a row where he's had more points than minutes is good, but also add a few of those human interest stories sprinkled in along the way. It's a pretty good campaign right there.
So I think
go ahead, Chuck.
No, I think this is an opportunity to bring up the problems with the fining system in the NBA. And look, everybody knows I'm a pinko lefty red doper diaper baby, right? And I think we should, if Joel Embiid, who makes $1 bajillion, has to pay the same exact amount of money as somebody who won't be in the league in 2 years, who half of his money is going in taxes and to his manager and agent, I think maybe we should do some sort of sliding scale so that a guy like Embiid would actually think twice about getting a technical, because he literally could wipe his butt with $2,000 and not ever miss it. And a guy like Alvarado is probably $2,000 in 3 years. He's probably going to wish he had it.
Any crime whose punishment is a fine is merely a crime on poor people.
Yes.
We know this.
This is established.
Your parking tickets should be based on your gross income.
That's it. So I don't understand.
I think speeding tickets should be based on your tax returns, the value of your car, and the weight of your car. That's my radical. That's my radical opinion. If you're driving like an 89 Honda Civic and speeding, all right, yeah. 50 $100,
50
cool.
bucks.
Whatever, $50.
That's still going to ruin your life.
If you're driving like a 22 Lexus
Maserati
SUV, I'm talking about a big car. I'm talking about a tricked out Ford F-150. If you're just saying missile,
what's the fine for truck nuts?
Yeah. Those are fine.
$69.
Sliding scale, combined household income under 70, you're good. Have all the truck nuts you want. Those were our best things. The opposite of the steak and eggs. Best thing is the cream of wheat. Worst thing, and I got a worst thing, and it's not that the All-Star votes just how it all happened. It's not that Andrew Wiggins is an All-Star. That's odd. And that opened up a new window into my life where I was not upset that Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. were not being considered for an All-Star team until I found out Andrew Wiggins was starting the All-Star game. And I'm like, wait, that's not these guys. I'd rather have these. Anyway, our guy, Jose Alvarado.
He's back.
He finished 16th in the player vote among Western Conference guards, which honestly, that's all good and fun. We can poke fun at like Tim Frazier receiving All-Star votes from the players. The players themselves, if you actually tally up or if you look at who they voted for, I think it's really interesting. I'll get to my worst in a little bit. It's a long winding road to what's bad about this. The player votes, despite spreading around to their friends and like lots of guys receiving votes, they actually, if you put them in order, they make a lot of sense. It also shows that they don't really care for their elders. Like Anthony Davis, nah. Russell Westbrook, no. Santi Aldama got more All-Star votes from the players than Russell Westbrook did. But like, if you just put them in order, like they make a lot of sense. You know, like in the East, the Eastern Conference guards based on the player vote. All right, it's DeRozan 1, Zach LaVine 2, Trae Young 3, tied with James Harden. Then that means 5th, Darius Garland. 6th, LaMelo Ball. 7th, Fred VanVleet. 8th, you got Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving tied. But like all this makes sense. You want to go next? You got Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero like tied. It all kind of makes sense. Like I feel like they actually did a good job. And then I was looking at how the way they do these things is, you know, the player vote, the fan vote, and the media vote. You combine them all, and when you're ranking these players. One of the reasons we feel weird about Wiggins making it is because if you combine the votes between guards and front court, then there's all these guards who received more votes than Wiggins. But the thing that truly bugs me, that hadn't occurred to me until this week, is front court players get more votes than backcourt players because there's a third more available votes for front court players. Every ballot is going to have 3 front court votes to it and only 2 backcourt votes. So there's a third more front court votes. That's hard to say. Available to you. And then I was thinking about how the All-Star captaincy goes to the top vote getter. We need to be dividing the front court votes to make them equal, to have the same value as a backcourt vote. A backcourt vote is more valuable because there's fewer of them than a front court vote. So what I've done here, I have weighted the votes. And I'm telling you, this system.
Does Jaren Jackson make it? That's all I want to know.
This system makes sense. And I don't think my math checks out, right? Like there's every vote, like the player votes, like 960 front court votes were cast and 640 backcourt votes are cast because you have to vote for 3 front court. You have to vote for 2. So like,
I'm just assuming that this is some form of gerrymandering that helps the Grizzlies, right?
Yeah, the districts have been split. We need to invoke laws, election reform laws.
I'm just saying also, I mean, the captaincy, this LeBron, this is slanted toward the front court guys. It's really hard. Steph's done it before, which is impressive. But it's really hard to win the vote if you're a backcourt guy. Like DeRozan's 5.2 million fan votes, that should be more than Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo's if you divide it. If you divide that front court vote, you reduce it by a third. Like, right. DeMar DeRozan should be a captain. Just saying, it's not fair. It's slanted towards these guys in the front court.
I feel like there's definitely some sort of like Russian bot farm, or maybe
it's called Korean K-pop.
K-pop.
Yeah,
no.
K-pop
I thought you were going to say there are grounds for a legal challenge to the All-Star captaincy. We need to get DeMar DeRozan to get some lawyers together.
Stop the steal.
Maybe Giuliani. Stop. We got to stop the steal here. So, like, if you weight the votes, this is the order of the players in the Western Conference. 1, Steph Curry. 2, Ja Morant. 3, LeBron James. 4, Jokic. 5, Devin Booker. 6, Luka Doncic. 7, Draymond Green. 8, Rudy Gobert. 9, Andrew Wiggins. 10, Chris Paul. That checks out. Like, that checks out. I just, I think it's weird. Do
you think
it hadn't occurred to me? Maybe it was just the Wiggins factor. I started digging into it. I did my own research, and I uncovered what I think.
Critical thinker.
I'm a critical thinker.
Do you think this was a way for the league to finagle the system to get Kyrie Irving to take the vaccine shot? Right. So Andrew Wiggins gets the shot. Boom. Immediate all-star. So in Kyrie's world, the little bots that are being distributed into his body through the shot could be all-star bots.
I would say this would make a great turkey bacon Chuck conspiracy if the greatest turkey bacon Chuck conspiracy didn't actually happen with a K-pop star accidentally putting Andrew Wiggins into the All-Star game already, thereby killing all our turkey bacon conspiracies.
The simulation is broken.
The All-Star captains should be Steph Curry and DeMar DeRozan. That's all I'm saying. If you weigh the votes equally, those guys won the fan vote. I don't know. Is there a fix?
We need an electoral college.
We need some form of electoral college to fix this injustice.
So are we also weighing market size? So, like,
that's what I'm saying.
Would Sacramento players receive 10% more?
Each market should be assigned a
should
certain number of electors to at least kind of balance the field. I do think, by the way, the Wiggins All-Star selection, they're going to change it again somehow. I already don't understand the All-Star game rules, and I don't understand the Rising Challenge rules. By the way, congratulations to Michael Mulder for being part of the Worlds team last year that led the league to be like, we can't do this anymore. We can't have Facundo Campazzo and Michael Mulder.
I just want Wiggins to win All-Star game MVP now. Like desperate.
So traditionally, a lot of times the starters are the guys who are allowed to close the game. Will Wiggins be allowed to close the game? Where will Wiggins be drafted in the draft? Last? Because that would be fantastic.
Kind of hilarious
drama.
I don't think that will happen because isn't Durant one of the captains?
Because Gobert will go last? Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think they won't let that happen. And also I think he is pretty well respected for by the players, etc.
Yeah.
But it would be great.
Well, that's the one thing where I was a little bit surprised that Wiggins actually ended up, I think he was 6th among the player rank in the Western Conference. No, he's 5th among the player rank in the Western Conference, which honestly really surprised me. They do not like Paul George. They do not like, I don't know. He's like ahead of Karl Anthony Towns. I thought all that was pretty surprising. By the way,
I think it's mostly meaningless.
It is meaningless.
Yeah.
It is so meaningless. But I think next year, they might get rid of positions again, or they might change at the position.
Yeah,
because it is weird to be like, oh, Luka Doncic is not an All-Star starter because he's listed as a guard, but Andrew Wiggins is.
I don't want this to be construed as caring, but
of course.
If you look at the biggest problem with All-Star voting, is it rewards a type of person that is like on the fringes of society, sitting on their phone all day and all night retweeting stuff. I'm sorry, Keith. I'm not trying to put you on blast.
Well, they want to.
can't.
They don't want to be gatekeepers. It used to be you voted when you went to a game. Like
Right.
you had physical ballots that you punched out, and it was to people who attended games, or you could get them for free,
But,
like outside the arenas. But that is gatekeeping. That they want to have the worldwide audience.
Bots are already ruining society. We can't have something that can be botulism this easily.
What if it was like the fans got to pick the last roster position, right? That like they can bring in a popular.
I don't have a problem with the fans picking. Just it shouldn't be with a method that I could go
what
make
if
something
an
on my
online
computer to
vote?
vote.
What if an online vote was worth 3/5 of an in-person vote?
Oh dear!
That too many bad connotations? Is that
You get 40 acres and a mule when you vote.
Oh my! Someone get me out of this with their worst thing. John, what's your worst thing?
I'll head right into your territory. Tony Brothers' sensitivity syndrome is spreading wildly throughout the league. I saw in the past week no less than 6 technical fouls that were completely absurd and just like, judging from body language from the players, so unbelievably shocking that it's just like we need. I know it's been a rough 3 years, but like we need to like, I don't know, just get the refs together and be like, hey guys, have a little bit thicker skin. You're ruining outcomes of games with just absolute like incredible sensitivity. Like it for a while it was just Tony Brothers who was like this, but it feels like he's rubbed off on everyone.
So Tony Brothers is most fans. I thought the casual fan doesn't like him because he's like he's stern and he doesn't take I don't know any guff from any of the players. I do think Tony Brothers, however, does have some of the thicker skin where he does give players a lot of leeway to say things. I saw some refereeing in the past week that was also, I will admit, not good. And I saw, especially that Grizzlies Jazz game had 2 of the softest technicals in the first quarter, one against each team, where you're like, what is going on? This is very odd. And it does feel like maybe it is it just the stress and anxiety of this year? There was those numbers a month ago that 38% of the referees were out in health and safety protocols. Are they overworked? But there have been some weird calls in the last week. Calls that were so egregious where even I, the referee defender, had to be like, yeah, this is bad. Like bad things are happening right now with the refs, but I guess
Tony inspired this after a call, I think Thursday. And then today, after I've already decided to do this, teed up Trae Young for looking at him wrong.
He did. Hey, Trae Young, it was great. So in the game against the Lakers, where thank you Lakers for losing once again. The Hawks keep on winning. But there was a play where Trae Young thought he got fouled, and then like kind of complained and very casually changed his pivot feet and like looked at Tony Brothers, and Tony Brothers just called him for a travel, which made the hairs on my forearm stand up. I loved it. That was a beautiful referee moment.
We just found out that the forearm is an erogenous zone.
But then right after that, he did call but at that point he let Trae Young yell at him for a while. And that was Tony Brothers doing thick skin. Then the next time Trae looked at him sideways. Pop,
yeah.
He got him. He gave him the technical.
He's also got one of the best technical, I guess, because he's given so many, where it's a very blase, like blah.
Oh, it's good.
Like,
it's the little index finger against the palm. Yeah. Also, he saves his big ones for when it's Jokic. When he launches Jokic into the sun, because that man ejects Nikola Jokic all the time.
Tony Brothers and Jokic is the heir to Salvatore Duncan.
Yeah, I think you're right. Chuck, what's your worst thing?
Or not Salvatore. Who was it that always? Just go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, Joey Crawford and Duncan.
Joey Crawford, thank you.
I'm exhausted. Last night was emotionally draining. I stayed up later than I thought I would. There was insanity, nail-biting moments in the Miami Heat Toronto Raptors game, triple overtime, loss for my Heatles. Just the worst way to lose a triple overtime game is to hit a game-winning buzzer beater in the first overtime. That's the worst way. If you've ever done it, you should try it because it sucks and it hurts and it's terrible. And basketball is a great source of pain for me, as well as joy.
Do you want to fill in anyone who might have missed what happened at the end
of this
overtime?
Yeah, so the Heat were playing a great game with the Raptors, who I do not want to see in the playoffs. It's just a bunch of 6'8".
Yeah.
Which teams would you like to see in the playoffs with your dominant Miami Heat?
Give me the Hawks. Give me the Knicks.
Hawks aren't getting there, buddy.
They're not.
They might. Chance. No, they've won what, 7 straight. Yeah,
they're on fire. Actually, I don't want to see the Hawks right now. Yeah,
all the teams in the East are like 2-11 are the same. So it's
they're the same.
What are you gonna do?
But yeah, it was interesting. I think it was at the end of the first overtime. The Raptors missed. Gabe Vincent ends up with the ball. They go down the court, and as he's hitting a logo bank buzzer beater, right before that, Eric Spoelstra does the right thing, and he calls a timeout. And the game winner was waived, and the Heat went on to not make this shot in the after timeout call, which was a great call by Spo. Got Hero a wide open shot where he airballed. But it was just one of those things where like it shouldn't have happened. But when it happened, it felt like, all right, there's no way we win this game now. Like the universe now knows that we weren't supposed to win this because of that weird, fluky, terrible situation. And we lost at 4 points in triple overtime.
It was a brutal loss. It was one of those where the announcers didn't know a timeout had been called. So if you're watching on League Pass, it's just like, oh, Gabe Vincent gets the ball, he dribbles it up, he shoots it, he has it. What happened? Because the ball goes in. I thought it was a buzzer beater. I thought it was an incredible walk off, very similar to one or like to two that Dwayne Wade has had in his career. Yeah, like banked in walk offs. But yeah, it's a tough way to go down. Where Spoelstra.
It's probably it's the best game of the year I've seen the Heat play, even though it was a loss. They like gutted it out, a lot of comeback, like they were down 16, 18 certain points and gutted it out. I thought they were going to give up. It was the second night of a back-to-back against a team who were just a buzzsaw defensively, who are doing we're very high energy against my boys. So it was a good thing that I got to see it, but it was hard to see the end.
I was deeply invested in this game, and I don't know if this is the time to transition or not, but
yes, please.
I have picked up Keith's leavings, Tyler Hero, in our iShop negative fantasy points league, and he put up a 75 burger.
He was amazing with the negative fantasy score. We had a couple. We're very close to the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, which he might appear in. We had a couple of amazing negative fantasy games this week. Tyler Hero in that game with the 45 minutes of playing time, 5 turnovers and 18 missed shots. Incredible number. Our I Need a Hero update where I've bet Chuck that Tyler Hero will not average 18 points per game.
A sliver of hope. Keith.
There's a tiny sliver of hope. I feel like if I could just find the right sympathetic judge,
loser
I could file
gets a mayonnaise lawsuit.
Yeah. So Tyler Hero last week averaged 13 points per game. 12 points per game, excuse me.
Points, yes.
That will get the job done. We need more weeks like this from Tyler Hero, but it's not looking good. But again, a sliver of hope. Anyways, that awards segment is coming up in just a second. Before we get there, we have a couple of listener submitted questions. The croissant question all.
Miles asks, who was the worst all-star selection of all time?
I mean, who are we considering? You gotta say Wally Zerbiak,
Jamal
McGlure,
Kyle Korver.
I feel like Mehmet was pretty good that year. I feel like Mehmet Okor was pretty good that year.
Pistons lifer monster. That's a good.
Did anybody say
Roy Hibbert?
No, Roy Hibbert was an all-star back when he was dominant back then.
He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
He was one of the best 12 players in
the LeBron
in his
stopper
conference that year.
I mean, I honestly think it is Kyle Korver.
Yeah. Did I say Zerbiak yet? That's the one that always.
Zerbiak's much better than Kyle Korver, though.
Yeah, the Kyle Korver one was nuts.
I mean, Kyle Korver, like, you need guys like that on your team, but he's only good at one thing.
Yeah,
we're removing like legacy all-stars, right? Like, so like
what, the last 3 Kobe's?
Yeah, or like Allen Iverson.
Am I allowed to say that?
2010 Allen Iverson.
Yao Ming. Didn't Yao Ming make it when you didn't play?
Yes. We got another very beige name on here, Mark Eaton in 1989.
But he was a blocks man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to. Wasn't there like? Didn't Dale Davis get one?
Yes, and
Yes.
Antonio Davis.
Oh,
Both.
BJ Armstrong.
BJ Armstrong.
BJ Armstrong.
I feel like BJ Armstrong got it was. I feel like BJ Armstrong and Kyle Korver have the exact same reason they made it.
Yeah.
It was like we got to get a third guy off of this dominant team, which we should just stop doing that because that's how we end up with Andrew Wiggins and stuff. Like this is the weird thing that we as fans do, and I think we could stop doing it. We could decide to stop.
I mean, it's fine. It isn't. It's the All-Star game. It's a little bit silly. It is going to negatively affect probably someone's salary situation where, someone who gets a bonus for making the All-Star game. But I'm not even sure.
Official answer, we should do like Kyle Korver, honorable mention Mike Conley last year. Can we move on?
That's also, by the way, John Morant making the All-Star game. I'm going to go back for another helping of steak and eggs inside the croissant questionnaire. John Morant named an All-Star before Devin Booker. Devin Booker has only been an injury replacement. He has only been an injury replacement. Never outright made the All-Star game. He's probably going to this year. John Morant legitimately makes the All-Star game before Devin Booker. I'm going to go do a parade. I'm sorry. I
know we don't do drops like this. Like we don't have like radio show drops, but I want the Kid Rock. My name is Keith, but it just says Keith instead.
Yeah.
Anytime Devin Booker is mentioned. Magnus asks, how large and or fancy would a croissant have to be to warrant a $500 price tag? Also, and what's the most overpriced food you ever ate?
So in my opinion, you could do a $500 croissant. It would be savory. You're talking gold flakes. You're talking caviar. You're talking foie gras. You're talking
McFish. You're talking double bacon cheese. Big Mac, and you're talking
chicken nuggets,
airborne emu,
a hash brown.
So you're going with quantity and quality.
Yeah, so I think you can put gold flakes on things. Always make things like.
Well, I mean, I feel like they also get away with it where it comes with the body of like Louis XIV or whatever.
Yeah, like a bottle of Moet.
It comes with some kind of very expensive,
like a magnum of champagne.
Keith, you have eaten very large croissant.
Yeah, I have.
Like you've known for large croissant. How big would a croissant have? Because that Panera one is probably $5 for.
Yeah. It's not even $5.
2,000 calories.
I want to say
dough.
I want to say it's like three
mildew dough.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the price of the croissant, what I think would have to be based on. It wouldn't be the size. It wouldn't be like a party. Like it feeds 12. I think Chuck's right. Would have to be the extreme ingredients.
If I'm paying $500 for a croissant, it better be like an Under Siege, and Erica Aleniak better come out of the croissant and take her top off. Like that's what I'm talking about. If I'm paying this much for a croissant.
The second half of that question, I think, is really easy for me.
Okay.
What's the most overpriced food you've ever paid for?
You can't say anything from Chuck's food trucks.
Honestly, I'm gonna say like Logan's.
But you got the peanuts on the floor.
No, the peanuts are great. On the floor. All right, maybe not Logan's. Maybe like if you order like a steak from an Applebee's or a Ruby Tuesdays or a Logan's, for me, that costs like $20.
Nah.
That's the most overpriced thing. I feel like the few times in my life I've had expensive food where like the food, not counting alcohol, costs like $100 a plate.
Yeah.
The food's been good. I've never had an experience where I paid like extreme amounts of money and then I was like, this is not good. I will tell you, here's one.
LA sporting events.
I went to if I can't say Applebee's or Logan's, I'll say I went to a Dan Marino steakhouse and that steak was like $80 and I didn't think I was like, this is.
No, notice Chuck. He did not say a Don Shula.
Yeah, you should.
I'm sorry, a Don Shula. Yeah, maybe.
What?
He did.
He did.
I went to the wrong one. Maybe it was the Dan Marino's, and I thought it was the Don
Shula. This podcast is finished.
It's finished.
What are y'all's that you've regretted paying for?
So the most overpriced thing I've ever eaten is anything I've ever gotten from a Subway. Because nothing at a Subway should cost more than $1.50.
Same line of thinking as me.
Yeah.
This full loaf sub costs $9.
I mean,
Subway?
I've had like $600 meals.
Wow.
Where multiple tasting courses and sat down with a sommelier telling me the pairings and all that stuff, like the expensive game where I couldn't afford it, but you did it. It's like going on a stupid vacation, but it's for one night and you get bloated after.
Yeah.
But
your body doesn't know how to deal with that food. But as never had it before. Yeah.
Like I said, though, would 10 to 10 do it again, because those are like memories. You're buying a memory of a gastro memory. And I've never been disappointed with an expensive meal, but I have been disappointed in this crappy fast food.
Can a man who regularly spends $40 to $50 on Uber Eats, like to bring me ice cream in the middle of the night and then destroy the evidence and it never even gets into the freezer? Can a man who does that even answer a question like this?
No, I
don't think so. I think I have to recuse myself.
I think it's a great question. I like thinking about it. I'm gonna go with Don Shula's Steakhouse. That's it. That's my final answer.
Chuck and I dream of being at Don Shula's Steakhouse.
Shula's we should probably take a vacation, Burr and I, when the COVID.
I do want to talk. Can we talk about Logan's really quickly? Like, how in the hell do they get away with all these peanuts everywhere when like every other kitchen in the restaurant industry can't even have like nary a cashew within a mile? How are they still doing it?
That is the mystery of mysteries right there.
I remember being on tour and like we'd stop in a Logan's parking lot and our keyboard player would be like, I can't get any closer to this restaurant. I'll die. Like if you've ever been on a plane, they'll be like, attention, someone with a peanut allergy is on this plane. Everyone get off the plane. They're gonna scrub the plane with like they pull out like fire extinguishers and start spraying a fog. And Logan's just like, come on in, eat peanuts off the floor. Throw the stuff everywhere. Pee and poop in the gerbil cage. I don't understand.
It's a great point. Those were our croissant questions. If you want to submit your own question to be answered on air, you have to become a Patreon supporter. Also, right after we record this episode, we're doing our live monthly Zoom where we answer even more of your questions. We will do that and post it on patreon.com on Monday. So you will have no chance to make it if you're not already signed up, because this episode is not coming out until after it already happens. You can wrap your brain around that. But if you want to get involved with all the stuff we do, you want to sign up for our Pickle Pick'em, which will start on Tuesday with a brand new month where we will pick the games against the spread Monday through Thursday. The winner and the loser for the month will get a free t-shirt. Do all that by joining us at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right, it is now time for the awards segment of the program. I've been teasing it several times. The International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given each week to the worst performance in a box score. We have a few honorable mentions. Emmanuel Quickly, 1 for 10. Davion Mitchell, 3 for 15. Jalen Green, as mentioned, 3 for 16. Steph Curry, DeAnthony Melton, and Anthony Simons, 5 for 18. And RJ Barrett, 6 for 20. Our 3 nominees as they occurred chronologically through last week. Harrison Barnes, who apparently is available for trade if anyone wants to pay something to get a Harrison Barnes. Again, in a loss to the Celtics, he was 1 for 12. 1 for 12 from the field, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers, no personal fouls. Maybe put forth some effort in this game, Harrison. Then Karis LeVert, who also posted over 70 negative fantasy points in our negative fantasy league for this game.
Top scorer of the year.
Well, there you go. Karis LeVert
has the next 2, by the way.
Was 3 for 19 in a win against the Thunder. By the way, Karis LeVert is available via trade if you want to pay in any amount of future asset to get a Karis LeVert on your team. In a win against the Thunder, he was 3 for 19. Had 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, and again, the highest scoring negative fantasy game of the year. And then on Saturday night, it took a couple of overtimes.
They shouldn't count.
Tyler Hero, 5 for 22, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. So we got Harrison Barnes, 1 for 12, 4 points, 4 rebounds, and nothing. Karis LeVert, 3 for 19, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. And Tyler Hero, 5 for 22, 13 points, 6 boards, 5 turnovers.
Motion to let Chuck vote first.
Go ahead, Chuck.
So, Keith, I'm going to use your logic on All-Star voting to let you know why Tyler Hero cannot win the ice shot this week. He played in 15 more minutes than everyone else on this list, right? Those ice shot points accumulated through triple overtimes, or he was playing, which means his coach trusted him. And he did hit a game-winning or a clutch 3 at the end of regulation that put them into overtime. So
didn't show up on the box score.
But I mean, it is an important part. Like, he
Counterpoint,
is responsible.
Chuck, I think that if you added an extra quarter to these other players' scores, they would not have reached the summit that was 75.
Oh, I think Karras might have. I think Karras might have.
Oh, was that the worst of the? That was the worst of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty good defense, Chuck.
To go 2 overtimes and miss 17 shots. Like, if he misses 16 shots, you wrap that up.
Go to early. 1 overtime. Well, he missed a game winner.
Yeah,
in the first overtime.
Well, who are you voting for, Chuck? If you're not going to vote for Tyler Hero,
I have to vote for Tyler Hero because it was heartbreaking to get texts from John Burr continuously with screenshots of his eye shot score.
I'm voting for Caris LeVert. So, John, you're the tiebreaker.
I got your Tyler back, or Caris? There goes my hero.
I don't want to seem. I don't want to seem to be a homer. It is incredible.
I just don't remember. Like, I know this is box score only, but I just can't remember watching a guy like. Eventually, Fred VanVleet started hitting his shots. It's like Tyler Hero, streaky shooter. I was just like, when is he going to get streaky? And it just never happened.
He just had a couple big shots that all that did was extend his horribleness into more overtimes.
He played like 2 games worth of action and just never got hot. It was amazing.
Yeah. So you're voting Tyler Hero. Congratulations.
Yeah, also, Jimmy Butler got saved last week. By
you
Jalen
guys
Green.
are bringing way too much knowledge to this vote. It's supposed to be the clear and cut, posted on the back page of the USA Today box score.
Fine, give it to Karras.
All right, you sure?
Yeah.
All right, Caris LeVert. Congratulations,
Caris LeVert. I'll change my vote too. It's unanimous.
Unanimous. This week's International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. It is now time for the Lethal Lottery, the season-long competition where Jon, Chuck, and I try to pick the worst performer on TNT's nationally televised games. Last week, Chuck drafted Karl Anthony Towns, but used the power of the Stern ball to swap out his player with John's player, and Jon thus got the defeat because Karl Anthony Towns, I believe, posted negative 35 points, meaning he had a good game, which is not what he's supposed to do. So Jon lost. I got cute. I took Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, I believe, made 5 3-pointers in this game. It almost cost me. But anyway, Jon gets stuck with the loss. He is now leading for the season, which is bad. You don't want to have negative fantasy points. Or lethal lottery points. He has the most lethal lottery points. And since he lost, he will draw from the Jack-o'-lantern first. He will pull out either a silver. There are 2 silver balls for Adam Silver and 1 Stern ball. If he gets a Stern ball, he can swap his players with whoever Chuck and I pick. Jon, what have you grabbed there?
Ah, dang it.
Silver ball.
Silver ball. And what games are we working with this week, Jon?
I believe it's Hawks at Suns and the Clippers Lakers are choices.
Ooh, very, very, very nice. So which game are you going with?
Let's do Hawks at Suns.
I love it. I feel like we've done the Suns a lot for the lethal lottery.
Lots of Suns.
Who are you taking?
I will select Jay Crowder.
Oh, Jay Crowder chosen again. It almost burned me. I almost burned. I will pick.
I have to do something like that. I cannot put myself out there anymore because Chuck has sternballed me 4 times.
Yeah, he's killing you.
Well, one of the times was Dave DeFore.
All right, so pull me, Jon. Draw for me out of the Jack-o'-lantern. Silver or Stern? Oh no, I got a silver ball.
Chuck's gonna sternball me again.
Suns, Hawks.
I hate this game.
I am going to select. I'm going to select Danilo Gallinari.
Oh, so bad. So bad. One of the worst players in the NBA this year.
I'm going to take Christopher Paul.
Ooh. Chris Paul's had a bad game before. All right.
He ain't gonna have a bad game against Trae Young's defense. Let me tell you that right now.
Who are you swapping with? Are you extending John's?
Why don't you keep it? Why don't you keep it?
Why don't you keep it?
Keep it this week.
Why don't I keep it? Because I like victory.
No.
I like victory. And
take
last
Danilo.
night,
Take Danilo. I would.
No.
If you swap it and lose, you get a double loss. That's what we need to level the standings.
Yeah.
Why don't you take Danilo?
Last night, it felt like John was kind of like high stepping on his eye shot pick of Tyler Hero. He was kind of rubbing
here we
it
go
in.
again.
He was sending me screen caps and then blowing me up on Twitter via Liam's Twitter account and all this stuff. Like, not going to do it. So I'm sorry, John. We're going to swap players, and I'm going to take Jake Crowder.
Wow. So Jay Crowder goes to Chuck.
All right.
John
So look,
gets stuck with Chris Paul.
Jake Crowder has been good.
He's been pretty good.
He's been good. So
He's
I
not,
think,
hasn't been Cam Johnson good.
I think I may have finally, but he's kind of taken Cam Johnson's spot again.
They always give him the minutes. I hate
so
it.
I think I may have outmaneuvered Chuck at last.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Chuck
is dominating the lethal lotto.
It'll be fun to see. Anyway, par fadeaway, gentlemen. What things are we looking forward to?
Well, coming up on Disney Plus, which is an interesting platform, there's going to be a Pam and Tommy, the Pamela Anderson and Tommy.
There's
Tommy
no way
Lee.
that's on Disney Plus, Chuck.
It's on Disney Plus, I swear. The first 3 episodes air February 2nd. Not Tommy Lee Jones.
Also, Chuck,
I watched that.
You, Chuck, you giving us Disney Plus updates is off-season content.
You're right. Yeah, so Tommy Lee and Pamela, Seth Rogen's in it. Sebastian Stan, who played the Winter Soldier, is going to be playing Tommy Lee. I'm excited. I saw a preview of it, and I'm stoked. So
I want to find out where that's actually airing, but I'm nervous to Google Pam and Tommy. So
it's definitely Don't Google.
Isn't it Hulu? It's Hulu.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's saying Disney Plus. I promise you.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
John, what are you looking forward to this week?
I want to see. So Friday, the two teams that I think have the most momentum for each side of the conference, strangely, are playing each other, and that is the Dallas Mavericks and the Philadelphia 76ers. I look forward to potentially apologizing to Jason Kidd for real.
Well, I feel like the teams that are the hottest in my mind, the Sixers, that's a fine one to say. Yeah. I was thinking about the Hawks, the Grizzlies, and the Mavericks. These teams are totally locked in. The Grizzlies have a big road trip.
Luka Doncic looks like the best player in the league suddenly.
Yes.
And it's, he's, I guess I'm just saying he's on my radar. I want to see him and Embiid bump uglies.
The Grizzlies have to play at the Bucks and the Sixers this week. Those are going to be some very interesting games to see if, the Grizzlies can't keep riding this high. I don't think. Like right now, John.
Why not?
We're in year 3. We're in what we thought was still part of the rebuild. We expected the team to be pretty good. Right now, they have a chance to be the best Grizzlies team ever this season.
I think it's
they got their best record ever this season, which
I think it's easily the best Grizzlies team I've ever watched. And it's not.
Do you mean entertainment value? Because
no, I think they're that when they're hot, they're that good. They're a team that relies a lot on kind of like which Jaren Jackson we get. But when we get that good Jaren Jackson, the defensive stalwart Jaren Jackson, the game-changing 6 blocks Jaren Jackson, it's almost impossible to beat us.
If Desmond Bane if he did a Dr. Samuel Beckett body swap with Courtney Lee,
right,
the Grizzlies win like multiple championships.
Right.
like every year during the grit and grind era, I was always like, the Grizzlies have a 94% win percentage when Courtney Lee scores 18 points. Like if he ever knocked down 2 threes, the team was undefeated. Like I still think like the 2014, 2013 Grizzlies teams are better.
I just think they're
weirdly in the conversation. They have a chance to finish third.
There were types of teams that grit and grind era Grizzlies team could not defeat in a 7-game series. And a lot of that was predicated on that we were built around guys like Tony Allen, who you could not play against certain team matchups.
No, you are not bringing in Zach Lowe's retcon to this show. That is not a thing that happened. That's a thing Zach Lowe invented.
That is kind of true.
Listen, that can happen on another podcast. That will not happen on this podcast.
I think that this team, if this team is hot, they can scare anyone.
Well, that's the funniest thing.
Right.
They are not shooting the basketball well.
Poorly.
They are terrible on 3-pointers. They basically struggle to make 10 3-pointers in a game. And yet, they've won 14 to 17 road games. They're 11-3 against the other teams with the best 8 records in the league. It's very, very bizarre. Feels like a dream. Our draft pick is terrible. We're ruining our draft pick. But luckily the Lakers draft pick has gotten into that. It's almost getting scary. Like, if they miss the play, if they make the play in but lose and they end up with this, whatever, they have like the 17th worst record. There's like a 8% chance it jumps up in the top 10. That's terrible. I thought we were getting it. Anyway, if you want to support the Grizzlies, one way you can do that, just go to grindcitymedia.com. Home and road, Grind City Media is always there. Most comprehensive coverage of the Grizzlies. Also for your local and regional sports fix, go to grindcitymedia.com. You can also follow them on Twitter at grindcitymedia. You can follow me on Twitter at fastbreakbreak. Chuck is the Mighty Chuck. John is Master John Burr. That's the whole show. Appreciate your support. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
So, Keith, do you want to start that Zoom meeting and just leave?
I'm going to start it and not talk very much.
Okay.
So just you guys just run it.
Was it better to just leave?
I don't mind having it on. I'm just going to sit here and do nothing.
Okay.
I'm going to check on my family. All right. I'm ending this. See you all in a little bit.